प्रौढशाला संस्कृत व्याकरण कक्षायां सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। अद्यतन विषयः अस्ति अव्ययानि। At the end of this lesson we will be able to learn what is an avyaya, definition of an avyaya, examples, use of avyaya in sentences, and classification. Let us come to the parichaya of the term avyaya. Now let us read the following sentences. अधोदत्तानि वाक्यानि ध्यानेन पठत। बालकः प्रातः पाठं लिखति। माता प्रातः देवं पूजयति। मम मित्रं प्रातः भ्रमणार्थं गच्छति. Now meanings of these sentences, I think we all know. The boy reads the lesson in the morning. Mother worships God in the morning. My friend goes for a walk in the morning. Now prataha gives in the morning, during morning time is what is the meaning of prataha. Now this prataha in all these three sentences did not undergo any change, though the subject was balaka, mata, mitram. The subject in these three sentences were balakaha, mata and mitram. With respect to the subject, this word prataha did not undergo any change. With respect to the verb also, it did not undergo any change. Now, those words which do not undergo any change are called as avyayas. Atra sarveshu vakyeshu prataha iti shabdasya परिवर्तनं न जातम्. एतादृशानि पदानि एव अव्ययानि इति उच्यन्ते. We will go further. Now, in our previous classes, we have learnt all these things. Padam is of two kinds in Sanskrit, Subantam and Tingantam. Sup yasya ante tat Subantam, Ting yasya ante tat Tingantam. Prakritihi yada pratyayena saha युक्तः भवति तदा padasya nishpastihi bhavati. So a pada is formed when a pratyaya joins with a root or prakriti. Now dhatu plus vikarna pratyaya plus ting will give tingantam. Now if we come to subantam, we understand that pratipadikam plus supratyaya is subantam. Now these supratyas are 21 in number, we have seen that. Now where does these avyaya come? If we are saying that there are only two kinds of words in Sanskrit, which is subantam or tingantam, then what is this avyayam? Is it a tingantam or it is a subantam? This will be the question. If there are only two kinds of words, then the question will be whether avyayam is a subantam or a tingantam. And if it is a subantam, we are seeing that it is not changing. Why it is not changing and what is the rule? So when a pratipadika is there, supratyas get added to it to form the subanta, which we have understood. Now in case of avyas, what will happen is, the grammatical phenomenon that happens here is, after the supratyaya is added, it gets a lopa. So if we have a supratyaya for prathama bhakti ekavachanam, su, that su will get a lopa. Lopa is the pratyaya is not seen at all. Same thing happens with all vibhaktis and all vachanas. Therefore, an avyaya is a subanta with all its supratyayas not being seen, which means there is one form which is seen, and that is the avyaya form. It will settle in one form. Avyas are also subantas. The supratyayas of all avyas get lopa, and hence their form remains same. This is the concept of avyaya. Now, our grammarians have tried to define this. Yat na vyeti saptasu vibhaktishu vachanatraye lingatraye tat avyayam. Vyaya vyeti. Yat na vyeti, that which does not change. Na parivartate. that which does not change with respect to the 7 vibhaktis, 3 numbers and 3 genders is an avyaya. This is an important shloka which everybody has to memorize in order to understand the avyaya. Sadrisham trishu lingeshu sarvasu cha vibhaktishu vachaneshu cha sarveshu yannavyeti tadavyayam. Sadrisham trishu lingeshu sarvasu cha vibhaktishu vachaneshu cha sarveshu yannavyeti tadavyayam. Sadrisham trishu lingeshu. Sadrisham, that which remains same. Trishu lingeshu, in all the 3 lingas. Sarvasu cha vibhaktishu, in all the 7 vibhaktis. Vachaneshu cha sarveshu, and in all the 3 vachanas. Yan na vyeti, yat na vyeti, tat avyayam, tad avyayam. That which does not change is called an avyaya. Now, this is the definition of avyaya in Sanskritam.